Well, well, well. Isn't this a crock of crap? Rekieta got his kids back. I suppose I should be happy. The kids are back with the family. I know Rekieta's celebrating. He should be. I wonder if he's celebrating with a glass of scotch, maybe some booger sugar. I don't know. But he got his kids back. Well, did he get it back? But the case is closed. A CPS case. Unless Rekieta's lying here, which I don't think he is. So today is a good day. Today is monumentally great. Today, our CPS case is closed and full legal custody. All right. There you have it. Now, some people ask, why? How can this possibly happen? And a lot of people asking that have never been through CPS, either as a worker or actually through the system. Because the system is kind of like, it's just, let me put it this way. Like when I worked there for like 7-8 years, there are families that would circulate. Like you would get intake after intake of some gnarly stuff, usually involving substances. And you would think, okay, this time I got a full house. This time I'm going to get something. This time we're going to put it into this madness. But no. And really, the agency will say they're about unification anymore now. Back in older days, it was more fast and loose as far as custody and all that stuff. There is a push for unification. There is a push to try to for the agency to work with the family. What happens from that, though, you work with families, and of course, with addiction, people relapse. They do the same stuff again. They don't really learn their lesson. They more like learn how to play the game. And that's what happens. From my experience, that's what I learned as a worker. And, I mean, other workers probably tell you the same thing. Like, families learn how to game the system. And it becomes like, like a game of poker. What hand you got this time, huh? You got something good? You think you got a full house? What you got? And call your bluff, you know? And that's kind of what happens there, man. It's unfortunate. I know. We've been with the Rekieta story since the beginning. Like we know the crazy stuff. We've heard the details. We've heard about the substance use. We heard about the child tested positive. I don't understand how that happened. Yet there we are. Because when CPS removes your kids from your home and place them in a safety plan or whatever they want to do with it, they give you things that they want you to do. Things they ask you to do. And the idea is that you have to do those things, jump through those hoops to prove that you are, safe and stable. So that way your kids can go back to you. And if you do those things, well, the agency doesn't have any other choice. Now, they may try to make an argument before the judge, but the judge is going to side with the family because, hey, the agency doesn't really have an argument at that point. The family cooperated. So the kids are going to go back. It's that simple. Now, is there a chance that there could be another intake? There's something like this, there always is. You combine that with, I'm just keeping it real. Don't want to do anything. Obviously, when you're dealing with people that are online, some people are going to get really mad and want to do something that they should not do. Look, I'd say just let it happen naturally. If the Rekietas actually do right and they clean up their act, that's one thing. But it doesn't really appear like they are. But then again, we don't know everything, right? We're just based on what we see on their behavior and all that, but we really don't know. We really don't know. You know, if you want to be real about that. I know we knew something the first time around. You know, when there was some powder on the nose and clear, you know, there was something going on. It's like, oh man. Right now, with how active Rekieta and April are and with their tweets and all that, seems very manic. Seems like it could be something. It could also be that, well, the sort of feeling you get when you're winning on a case, when you get your kids back. You know, that sense of winning, victory. Okay, it could be that. It could be a little bit of that. All right. I should just let it happen naturally. That's how it should. What are the chances that Rekieta relapses and starts using substances again? I mean, he probably will. I mean, what can you do about that? You know, there's families that use all the time. I personally worked that for years, for 7 years of my life. I worked with families that would routinely get intakes, and it'll be about hardcore substances, okay? And be like, wow. And the game becomes about the test, about the drug test, about the initial one. The smart ones that really know how to play the system, they'll be like, no, I'm not taking that test. Or they'll be like, I'm taking a urine test. I'm not going to take the hair follicle. Okay? They'll just argue that. Okay? And you know that they use, but you can't prove it. You know that they use a lot. Like you see the signs. You see their living conditions. You see what's happening. You see the number of intakes there. You see the repeated cases. But you can't really do anything about it. Because what you can prove, okay, I mean, hold on. Let's say it's their first case and they test positive, all that. You can prove that they've used. But can you really prove how often? Can you really prove that? You really can't. That's reality. And someone's going to be like, oh, yes, you can. Dude, how? You can't go back in time and test them then. You could say you know, but you got to prove it. You got to show it. You can't just say they did. You got to show it. And if you can't show it, then you got nothing. You got to bluff. That's what you got. All right? That's why it's very much like poker. Okay? Now, if it's a family that has a lot of intakes and they have history, well, there you could show a pattern. And when that happens, placement becomes a little bit more permanent. Okay? The next time it happens, the kids could be placed maybe outside the home. But once the family shows that they're cooperating and that they're safe, they're going to go back. There's high risk, but at that time, they're safe. But if another intake comes in, another investigation comes in, okay, there's a safety issue and risk has definitely increased. So they work that case, okay, and let's say the kids get placed out of the home again. This time it's probably going to be a little bit longer. Because not only now do you have to prove that they're safe, but you got to do something about that high risk. You'd be like, Judge, Your Honor, there's something going on here. They're repeatedly using. They're not learning. They're like, the agency's not meant to be punitive. Well, I don't know about how it was started back in the day. It's not supposed to be punitive. Okay? It's supposed to be like they're working with the families. Okay? So so that's why I'm not really surprised. And I'm more like, why did we think it would be a totally different outcome? Why did we think they would be gone forever? They'd be gone for good. Right? Oh, because CPS is, you hear the stories online. They just want to take babies and put them away, and foster care and all that stuff. That is an exaggeration. Okay, all right. That's a meme there. That CPS workers are pretty much government sanctioned by the government, right? Hired by the government to kidnap kids. Okay. That's funny. I laugh at those jokes. I find them funny. But the reality is they got to work with the families, okay? Are there some BS and some weird things that happen? Yeah, probably in the system. Yeah, for sure. It's flawed. It's heavily flawed. You're dealing with people, dealing with policy created by people. And by the way, when I say policy, that policy stuff, that's kind of like the rules of engagement that CPS workers have to follow. And like, families know that stuff. They learn that stuff. Like, there's a reason why there's case families. Case families. What's a case family? That's a family that's been through the system many, many, many times. So often where the supervisor probably have had dealings with them. And that supervisor's probably been there for 14 years. And it's like, oh, yeah, I remember that family. I remember that family when the mom was a kid. Now the kid is a mom having her own kid and dealing with the same stuff. Well, it is what it is. Kid got his kids back. The case is closed. Well, for those that are a little bothered by that, surprised by that, good news is there's always good news. If you were betting on Rekieta to not get his kids back, well, there's always a chance for messing up again. Okay. All right, there's always that. I would try to hope for the best, but those kids are already in a gnarly situation where they're going to know everything. So how do you keep the internet away from them? How do you keep it away from them forever, right? Like, it's going to be crazy. Like, think about this. A couple of years from now, Rekieta's oldest kid is going to be on YouTube. That would be gnarly, man. That would be insane. What? But anyway, I wanted to give my thoughts on this. I think I said this. If Rekieta won, get his kids back, I'll replace the tiger painting. Nah, man. I ain't doing that. Ain't doing that. Not going to do that. That was Jack Daniels talking. But I will say, yeah. I guess congrats, Nick. Congrats. I don't have anything to drink here other than beer. I don't really feel like it right now. But go enjoy your glass of scotch. And I guess a bite Snow White if you want. I don't know. I don't know. Because it's crazy, right? Anyway, you guys take it easy. There's be a lot of coping, a lot of seething in this moment. But hey, there's a reason why CPS is called Can't Protect Crap. Okay? That's really what it's called. It's not about protecting kids. It's about not protecting them. Wow. What? With that said, you guys take it easy and have a good one.